are here once again to talk about nutrition and health. What you take into your system, the food you eat, and how it is supposed to be your medicine, and how it's supposed to be your cure, and how it's supposed to nourish your body, not just filling the stomach. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samson Onojai Itodo, and I'm here with Tolani Fasehun at Nutrition Gist. She is our nutrition specialist. And if you want to know more about dieting and talk about food and how your body should be nourished, she is the person to reach out to. And if you want to get her contact, go look her up on Instagram, Facebook, and all social media platforms with the name at Nutrition Gist or Tolani Fasehun, everywhere you find her. And she can do your code on how to nourish your body to give yourself the best meal. So Tolani Fasehun is here with me. And if you want to reach out to us, you can also reach out to Afrobizgermany, write us an email or at info@afrobizgermany.com, or leave a message on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on any online platform, and we will respond and then link up the contact. Today, we are going to be talking about is cancer rates in the African community linked with Westernized diets? That's a question. That's a very, very important question. We need to discuss this. We want to talk about this because the rate of cancer everywhere in the world right now is really high. So we're going to dive a bit into the history of cancer in the Black community, in the African community, and find out what changed. Why is it increasing now? Has it anything to do with Westernized dieting? You know, we eat a lot of canned food and all this food type of food these days. So let's talk to the expert and let her break it down for us and let us know what is it. So, lady, please, I don't know if I have the introduction I've given up. I always want you to tell us a bit about yourself before we dive into the questions. So I'm going to share this to your Facebook so that other people can join and then be part of it. So, Aflani, please, let me start with this. A bit of introduction about yourself.
Thank you, Samson. My name is Tolani Fasehun. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a clinician. Yes, I love hospital work. And then I do shows with Nigerian Television Authority, NTA2 Lagos, and some other.
Keep on, sorry. Continue.
I said other media platforms like Afrobizgermany. So.
Oh, beautiful. So first of all, let's go to it. What is cancer? Can you describe cancer and then breakdown? What is cancer? So we know what is cancer first of all.
In the most literal or lay term, I would say cancer is a growth, an abnormal growth. That we know the body functions normally, the skin, the brain, every part. But cancer shoots out like a growth, as if you have some kind of swelling or whatever. And it's an abnormal growth. It's a growth that shouldn't be at that site, And this particular growth has the tendency to spread and affect other sites of the body. So we have different types of cancers. We have the benign, that's the harmless one. Can just be there in the body. It's not affecting anything. The only problem comes when maybe it is obstructing a lymphatic flow or blood flow. That's the benign. But then the malignant, that's the very, the scary one, because this one, not only does it affect the normal functioning of the body, it can shut down an organ. It can spread from one side, maybe from the liver down to the lungs and neighboring organs. And as it does that, destroying, like I said, it's an abnormal growth, destroying the structure of those organs, shutting them down, except it is quickly nipped at the bud.
Is cancer peculiar to any particular organ in the human body? Is there any particular organ that's... Are there organs that are safe from it, or just...
That growth is an abnormal growth, really. So you find it in Several, we have cervical cancer, that is cancer of the cervix. We have brain tumors, that's cancer in the brain. We have stomach cancer, we have esophagus, we have skin, we have even lymphatic, we have blood cancer. So I don't think there's any part of the body that cancer cannot venture in. But in some parts of the world, there could be cases of, they have more cases of these type of cancers than others. Like I know in Africa, in the last 5 to 10 years, there'll be more cases of cervical cancer, more cases of breast cancer. It used to be that lung cancer, the most deadly form of cancer. It used to be the one that was at the top most, but now breast cancer has taken over. We have like 2.3 million new cases of breast cancer, overtaking lung cancer, that's just like 2.2 million cases. So like I said, in Africa now, and maybe in Nigeria, they will have a peculiarity, but cervical cancer has surprisingly become more frequent. So there's no part of the body you won't, I mean, the skin has, the lungs, the liver, virtually, because it's just a cell, as it can spread anywhere it touches around it.
Beautiful. Okay, let's jump to the history of cancer among Africans. When did we start knowing the high rate of cancer? Has it always been like that, or have we always had cancer, or was it minimal before?
Well, ancient reports shows that cancer, maybe in medieval times, cancer, they discovered it in mummies, one of the ancient mummies in Egypt. Anyway, they can't be so sure it is cancer, but then they saw something peculiar that could have been, cancer. And then, but that was the only case. If you look at the origin, it's more of from European, they had more incidences of it. The only time they said, okay, they saw one among the mummies. But then by the time you look at the writings of Aristotle, some of his treatments, he was already offering some kind of therapies to some of his patients that had cancer as at that time. In China, they had a particular therapy that they were already using. Is it categorized? I've forgotten the particular therapy they were already using for their patients that had cancer. So if we look at it, apart from the fact that they said, well, there was a mummy that they believe that ancient Egypt, and if we believe Egypt is Africa, ancient Egypt, they suspect that thing they see there on that very how many millions of decades dead, whatever, showed cases of cancer. It is not a frequent thing in Africa in those ancient times. There could be some infrequent cases here and there. Okay. But in the last 10 years, we began to.
So what we are establishing now is that cancer is not an original thing in Africa. It came from somewhere. Okay, yeah. So what are the causes of cancer? What can we say are the causes of cancer?
Well, there are quite like about 5 major causes, 4 to 5. Number one, I would say genetics. Yes, genetics, and genetics carries about, should I say 20.1 or almost 30% chances for people. There are things we get normally through the genes, through the parent-child hereditary factor transfer. And that is why people need to do regular screening and ask questions. What happened to our great-grandfather? In Africa, in Nigeria, for instance, I stress the essence of autopsy. They say this person slumped down. He was always, he never visited the hospital. But did they find out? So the things run in the genes. If you have somebody, even in the extended family, like Angelina Jolie, one of well-known, renowned, she's not African though. Yeah, her mother, I think her mother died of cancer or something, had cancer. And she went for screening. She did double mastectomy, took off the 2 breasts because she knew she had some percentage chances to cancer naturally through genetics. So genetics is one major thing. And the secret to that is do regular screening. Do regular screening, make findings, know if anybody in the extended or nuclear have had it.
If you're talking about genetics now, yes. Are there really particular type of genes that really that can easily, that cancer, particular to cancer, getting cancer?
African Americans have been noted to have more cases of obesity. And when we talk about one of the foremost health disorder, body disorder that predisposes one to cancer and other diseases, it is obesity, basically.
Okay.
So they have more chances of breast cancer. Yes, they have more chances of breast cancer and other types of cancers.
Okay.
Now, apart from genetics, many, we have environmental from air pollution, from radiations. Over here in Africa, we may not have too much cases of too much radiations yet. Yes.
But I don't want us to go into that aspect. Let's go straight to our topic today, which is food, health, what we consume. How can this lead to cancer? What are the basic food products that can, what are the basic foods that can cause that causes cancer?
Well, please permit me to say something.
Okay.
While we're explaining cases of cancer in Africa versus foreign, I remember I saw while trying to read through that as of 2018, 2019, in Africa, we had like some 811,200 new cancer cases. But in Europe versus Europe, about the same time, they have like 3.7 million new cancer cases. I mean, if you rate that 811 to 3.7 million, that's like almost like 20% of the world cancer case. You see that Africa, even up till now, has lesser incidences than, although they feel that maybe we don't have, there are some places that the statistics are not accurate, blah, blah, blah. But I would put it to people that if the statistics is okay for tuberculosis, if it's okay for some, why are we saying for cancer it's not okay?
Are they just trying to stigmatize Africa again, that
the bad thing comes from Africa?
Okay, but what kind of food can cause cancer?
Number one, I'm going to start with, I will have like some 5 different, if not 6. Number one are low fiber diets, which if we look at it, the more we are tending towards processed foods, less local rice, less brown rice, our own local rice. We prefer the polished rice, the white rice.
Okay, now make it clear now, because I want our audience, people like me who are novice in this area, to really get it. Terminologies are always a problem sometimes. When you say our own local rice, what are you saying our local rice is far better, more healthier than the processed, than the imported rice?
Yes.
When you're talking about imported rice, you're talking about the basmatis and all the rest.
Oh, please, don't let them bamboozle with basmati, except it is brown basmati. If it is same basmati, there's no big deal. What I'm trying to say is fiber, less fiber diets. And when we talk about fiber, where do you get fibers? Number one, fruits and vegetables. Number two, all grain cereals, like your local rice, like your brown rice, like your oats. Yes, like your wheat, unrefined wheat. Bread, white bread is actually from wheat that has been refined and all the fibers removed. Now, fiber, as what it does is that it reduces transit hours. It will not let food stay too long in the colon, because these are part of the things that causes stomach and colon cancers. By the time fecal matter that should get out of the body is being retained a week, 3 days, 4 days, and some will even be priding. I don't use the restroom for 4 days. You're endangering your health. So the more fiber diets taken, fruits and vegetables, which our fathers used to, they are fans. They are our mothers. This local ewedu soup, this, almost every night they're eating this green F4 and all sorts of things that it is called. But then with time, we take more flour, more pastries, more processed, canned, packaged foods, and the fiber contents in those foods are quite low. So,
about what you're saying right now, most processed food and packed food are westernized food, come from the world. Sometimes these are food taken out of Africa and reprocessed and then returned back to Africa. So it has lost the Africanness, the rawness and the pureness of the food. And it's been, well, but what is in that processing? What happened within that process? What happened within that processing time that makes the food adulterated?
Let me explain about wheat. Because from wheat, we have flour. Any flour product is actually from wheat. Number one, they take this wheat and they de-oil it. They remove the outer part of the wheat, which is actually rich in fiber and some vital nutrients. And after that, they do another thing, they bleach it because wheat is normally brown. If you buy wheat bread, it is brown. Wheat pastry will be brown. They bleach it so that it can be white. Noodles is made from flour, which is processed wheat, the vital good parts. Bread, spaghetti, semovita that we take here, especially in Nigeria, are made from flour. So it's been de-oiled. Vital parts of it has been removed. The fiber has been removed. It is polished. Then they now had some little nutrients so that the health bodies won't come after them. But it is not like the original. What happens is we consume a lot of those white breads, pastries that we take now, all those cakes and delicacies that we take now that are made from, polished rice and the likes of it. Except you're augmenting with vegetables and consistent daily fruits and vegetables, you would have a lot of issues with maybe some kind of stomach or colon. People can have, such incidences.
So your advice would be to people out there, our audience and people who are interested in their health, will be that they should avoid processed food.
As much as possible. Go natural.
But how do we escape that in this present day and era?
Actually, you still have those markets over there. You have some organic markets, some farms.
Really expensive.
All right.
Really expensive.
As much as possible when you're doing, I know you can't escape it for some kind of food, but when you're doing your cereal, you could go for those over there. You could go for oats most of the time. Go for rye. Yeah. Check the fiber. Look at the packets and look at the fiber content. It will be written in the nutrition content. So go for more all grain cereals. Yes, as much as possible. Maize that hasn't been de-hulled. Go for brown breads. Go for wheat breads. And go for brown rice. We have it. It may not look so attractive. Don't be bamboozled by basmati. If it is not brown basmati, there is not too much big deal about it. Fiber is the key thing here. Yeah.
So, but what do you say about GMO foods? Can they also be a cause for cancer?
Well, one of the scientific conferences that we had here in Nigeria, and that was 2019, they brought in some have you seen cassava that is looking reddish? Cassava, red yam. They were doing vitamin A fortification. That's genetic GMO, and the health body makes us believe that there is no big deal about GMO foods. They are properly done and everything. But I would always say, if it's not natural, it can be 100% like natural. That's all I'm going to say in that regard.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right.
Whoa.
So
like people watching now, because it's really difficult to escape this processed food and GMO food. It's everywhere. Sometimes I don't know if I can trust these shops that write, and these are bio food. These are food that are food that went through the natural process. We can't trust them. But now that we are in this situation, what else can be the solution to this counter? Is it only by what are the solutions to this? How can we counter this situation now?
What we can do, like I said, what we can do is just consume more vegetables and more fruits. I hope we don't have too much GMO vegetables.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's pretty difficult to survive without somehow so difficult to survive without these GMO things, these processed foods.
Maybe you start investing in Africa. We have a lot of these vegetables here. Get some of your fellows in Africa to export Find out, we'll dry up some of these vegetables and get it across to you, because GMO is not really as strong over here like it is.
Like it is here. Okay. In Germany,
And
yes.
then a farmland. You know, behind, there was a time the Nigerian government, or maybe it was WHO initiative, they enforced home gardens. And it's time we revitalize it. I grew up knowing my mom would always have a small garden of ugu leaves, of efirin leaves. These are local herbs and spices here. Let's grow small garden beside the house. Even if you have to use pots, like 3 pots, you could have some fresh tomatoes just growing, water it. So you know you are still taking something fresh that you can trust you planted yourself. Or get a garden man to just do it for you, and you water it, and you do all the other things. Google how to build a little farm beside my house, get a little sand space and plant there. So you know that even if I can't trust everything, at least I know I get some fresh vegetables or fresh fruits or whatever from my little farm. I guess that's another thing that, you know, people over there can do.
Home gardening. Home gardening. It's kind of a solution as it is right now, as it is sounding right now. But what is the case like in Nigeria now? Like you said from the onset that the cancer rate is low. How is it because the government have managed the amount of inflow of GMO food into the country, or what?
Well, as it is, we have a lot of farmlands. People still farm in southwest Nigeria. They even give a whole lot of incentives to people who want to farm. It's been the case of the insecurity in the country that has made people flee from farms because of all these Fulani headsmen, crises, and all of that. But basically, people still farm. We still have our cassava coming from farms, we have Benue yams. We still have, you know, yes, I know they use fertilizers. They give farmers some quantity of fertilizers. They do that. But then, we know, not too much lab-grown stuff here. The scientific growth of Africa can't be compared to, you know.
But you know, people can misconstrue some things from this our headline. When we say is cancer rate among Africans, can it be linked to Westernized diet? People might think maybe the style of cooking and the way the food is being made.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. Look at it. Another factor is excess salt intake. Salt. In the olden times, our mothers would use local spices. We have curry leaves. We have efirin leaves. Sorry, those are. We have our iru locust beans. Those are the spices our mothers would put in vegetables with a lot of crayfishes and dry fish. And you still have those beautiful aroma, and you enjoy it. And you see our fathers living to their 100 years, and they go to farms every day. They bring fresh vegetables from the farms. But right now, we want to make everything sweet. You don't have crayfish at home. You don't have, locust beans. Some say the smell is awful. Garlic, ginger, we don't want to use all of that. So we rush to salt. We rush to a lot of Maggi. We put all of that, a lot of all these sweetened, salty condiments. And what we don't do is too much of salt also causes cancer of the stomach. Yes, it does. So this is another thing that we are adding to our foods. What about all the colorants, artificial colors, sugars, in all these beverages, sweets, colorants, preservatives? That is in most of, we didn't have those things in the past. We didn't have them, but we embrace them because they help industrialists to preserve foods for a long time. But they also come with their disadvantage, because the more sugars you take, sugars are pro-inflammatory, means that they hamper, they bring along with them inflammations. And when we talk about inflammations, cancer is one mighty inflammatory disease. Yes, because they say when they want to detect cancer in the body, one of the things they use is glucose. There's a glucose receptor that helps to locate where cancer is. If sugar can help them to locate where cancer is. In fact, let me. There was one of my friends back then in Hawaii. She's a biochemist, very, very, very brilliant cerebral lady. came out first class biochemistry, in OAU. I like talking to her a lot. So she said that they did a little research and found that fibroids in women, when the person took more sugars, it was as if the fibroids were breathing more, breathing. It was like sugar. I know sugar is the fuel of the body. We know. That is why you can't say, okay, you have cancer, stop taking sugar. Sugar is in most of our foods, is in carbohydrates. You can't run away from it. But the less fizzy drinks, the less loose sugars from these cakes, from these artificial colors, beverages, sweets, the less of those sugars, because when you now add up those sugars to your normal diet, you are causing growth to breathe more and to grow more. And the thing is this, they found that cancers grow at a faster rate than the normal cells in the body. Those guys are cheats. The normal food that is for the body, they bypass and take a large chunk of that food for themselves. And that's why the growth begins to be more sporadic than even the normal body's, growth rate. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. We have really, we can talk about this for ages because there are lots to dive into and lots of information that people would, I see people making comment already, and people are saying good things like Olabode Troysant Oshofa says, stop processed food. I love what you just said.
Thank you.
Esther Peter says, yes, local rice is very good. And people tend to know what you're talking about and connect to it immediately because the world is really, this cancer case is too much everywhere now. It's really killing a lot of people. I just had a friend's wife, may her soul rest in peace, who died this week from cancer. She has suffered for 2 years, and the last 2 months of her life was brutal, and her soul rest in peace. It's really crazy what this cancer is doing, and it's very, very difficult to escape this thing right now because of everywhere you turn to, there are processed food. And I hope people watch this. And if you want to know more about this, please do not forget to reach out. Tolani Fasehun is always there. You can reach out to Afrobizgermany or reach out to me personally, and we'll connect you to her. And if you want to learn more, you have to reach to Tolani at the Strong Gist herself. So she has something to say. What do you want to say?
I just want to mention some other things. I feel like we didn't touch some things. One of them is nitrates, excess nitrates in our diet. And where do you get these nitrates from? Cured meat, processed meat, in hot dogs, sausage, all these processed meats has high level concentration of nitrates in them. And all of this will always predispose people to some kind of cancers, kidney cancer, pancreas cancer, stomach too, and then maybe some liver, but kidney, pancreas. So it's very important. Do less of sausages, hot dogs, and all of that. And then I talked about charbroiling. Remember this? We'll say it's from charcoal broiling.
Yeah, this grill for grilling.
The more you do charcoal broiling on beef, on lamb, on goat meat, those particular kind, you can do it with fishes, maybe, but if you do it on those beef, because beef has a lot of nitrates in it, the interaction of that nitrate with the hydrocarbon coming from the charcoal,
like those that grill during the summer. That's what she's talking about in essence. With charcoal.
That flame engulfing the oil dropping from the meat makes it cancerous. And then let me talk about your French fries. We didn't used to do that before. Now it's all about French fry with fried potato. When you fry starchy carbohydrates, you increase the tendency for the production of what we call acrylamide. And acrylamide causes colon cancer, causes stomach cancer. And the last but not the least, I was talking about, I remember this. When I remember our Chadwick Boseman, I always remember the issue of calcium. Low calcium intake is a major issue because people have run away from milk now. Milk is not bad. There's a milk for everyone. There's a milk for everyone. But are running away from normal milk. There's low-fat milk. There's zero-fat milk. Even in Nigeria, we have lactose-free milk now in Shell. Yes, we have low-fat. If you're on the big side, go for low fat, because that is one of the diets that gives us calcium. Yes, and the lesser calcium and vitamin D, I can't start explaining if I had enough time, I would have explained what calcium does right there in the colon. The lesser incidences of calcium, because people are now doing almond milk, cashew milk. Check it out. Check what's the calcium content of almond nuts. What's the calcium content of cashew nut, tiger nuts? You'll be amazed. You can't compare them to what normal milk has. So we need a whole lot of calcium from our dairy, and there's a dairy for everyone.
Beautiful. For those in Germany here, when she says processed meat, like the salamis and all these things, type of meat, processed meat that we use for breakfast, that's what she's talking about. She says it is dangerous. This is a whole lot of topic we need to do over again. I think there's more. And for those of our audience out there, if you see this video, listen to this video, and you have a question, leave a question under this video, we'll respond to it. And if you want us to repeat this same topic again, we can still do it, just request, and we will put things together and do it again. And finally, I'll turn to Tolani. Your last word to our audience. We have past time already, but I'll give you just a minute to round up and tell our audience whatever you is left.
There are times that you can't escape some things, like you said, but there is a preventive measure. Let's say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yes, keeps the hospital away. You could just make sure that you do a diet of not doing without fruits or vegetables every day. At least when you take a lot of toxins, these foods like citrus, like an orange, lemon, like apple, they help flush out those things from your body. We need to detoxify our systems, regularly. Very important.
Thank you very much, Tolani Fasehun at Nutrition Gist. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and all online platforms. Please follow her and make sure you help our channel grow, our online platform grow. She needs that. And also, if you want to get more information, like I'm like a radio playing over and over again about this same thing. If you want to reach out to her and you need improvement on your dieting, contact her online or reach back to me and I'll put her through. My name remains Mosmo Samson Olojaitodo and at Afrobizgermany. Please like, subscribe, and share this video and support Afrobizgermany. I want to say thank you very much for giving us your time. It has been a wonderful time with you at Tolani Fasehun. Stay cancer-free and stay healthy. And remember, it's the Black History Month. Go back to your history and know what your forefathers used to eat that kept them healthy and kept them living longer. Thank you very much and remain blessed. Cheers. Bye.